All right, the Detroit Lions win 34-16 in Jacksonville, and no, Matt Patricia doesn't get fired. Let's talk about the game. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the videos, go over the box score. Gardner Minshew had a terrible game, 243, one touchdown, one interception, and that touchdown came in garbage time to James Robinson. I believe he got a receiving touchdown. That's what it was. Outside of that, nobody really did much. Keelan Cole, who I said starting fantasy, he had a really good game. He had 6 catches, 143. Only receiving touchdown for them came from Robinson, like I said. They sacked Matthew Stafford not once, not none. He got sacked one time in Gardner Minshew for a 12-yard loss. Other than that, the Jacksonville Jaguars just banged up. No Miles Jack, no Josh Allen, who we won in the draft a couple years ago. And offensively, they just look like crap. But the Lions, Stafford was 19 for 31. He's now thrown a touchdown pass against all other 31 teams in the National Football League. He had 1 interception, threw for 223. DeAndre Swift had a huge game, 14 carries, 116, 2 big touchdowns. First Lions running back to go over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns since Barry Sanders. Other than that, Peterson had a touchdown. He had the first touchdown, 15 carries, 40 yards. Galladay had a big game, 4 catches, 105. Hockenson, he caught the only touchdown, receiving touchdown. He had 2 catches, 17. They just wasting his talent. And other than that, not much really going on. The only sack, I believe, came from Trey Flowers on a strip fumble, which Romeo Core covered it. But the Lions were just a more healthier team. They caught the Jacksonville Jaguars at the right opportunity. They caught them coming off a tough game. I think they lost 5 games in a row. A lot of health issues. DJ Shark, he caught 7 catches for 45 yards, but he hadn't been healthy the whole week. And it showed today. And just the Lions dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage. And that is the basic formula of winning a football game. If you can dominate the defensive line, from the defensive line, you can dominate the offensive line, you win. They got a couple offensive linemen that went out today who came back with dehydrated Terrell Crosby and also High Tide Big V. But I just wasn't impressed with this game offensively. Offensively, the Lions should have put up 50 points on this team, and Matt Prater missed a field goal, I believe. They should have put up more points, and they just don't really have that killer mentality, and that's the problem. The offense loves to spread it around. I mean, it's the same thing with their backfield. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same thing with the backfield. They like to spread it around, like give it to Kerryon, give it to Adrian Peterson, give it to DeAndre Swift. They need to pick a running back, let him get into a rhythm, spell him when he's tired, and pick a third down running back. But right now, this Lions just don't have killer instinct. They don't know how to abuse a receiver, and I just don't like how they spread the ball out all the way around. Galladay, he got 6 targets. He got the most. Amendola got 2 targets. Hockenson got 5 targets. Marvin got 5 targets, only 2 catches. At some point, you got to get the way you really run up a check or run up the scoring team is abusing your best asset. And they never really done that with Calvin Johnson. They never really abused him like he should. And, Galladay should have 10 targets. Hockenson should have 10 targets. And everybody in between should get it how they feel. Those guys should have 20 targets between each other today. And I guarantee you, if they abuse those targets, the Lions probably scored 50 points. So that's the one thing I haven't really liked since Stafford be here. Stafford like to spread it around to everybody. Great football teams and great offenses abuse their best weapons. And once you take them away, then they look to other places. They look to other people to step up. The Lions just never do that. They like to spread the wealth. You give opportunities to guys like Marvin Jones, who's obviously not having a great season. Why should he get 5 balls thrown to him? Each play they do should be designed for Galladay and for Hockenson. Everybody else should be secondary. And that's the one thing I don't like about this offense. I didn't like it with Cooter. Didn't like it with Lombardi. Didn't like it with Scott Linehan. Abuse a good thing. Tom Brady and Randy Moss did it. The Steelers will do it. I mean, every great team will do it. Abuse your best pass catchers and abuse your best running backs. And you want to know why the Lions only put up 34 points? They should have put up a way more points. 17 in the first, 17 in the second. No, they should have had 30 in the first, 30 in the second, to be honest. They should have just abused their best players, and they won't do it. They won't do it. And that's the only thing. I really didn't enjoy the offense today once again. I enjoyed DeAndre Swift a lot. They need to keep using him. Keep using and abusing him. Keep using and abusing him. But the Jaguars' defense was just really beat up. And I don't think Henderson played. Sidney Jones got injured. But Jacksonville really shooting for that number 1 pick. But they had a lot of injuries, but Lions did what they were supposed to do. It was never close. It was never close. Offensively, I just feel they should have done more. I just feel they could have really abused, and they just don't take advantage of their best matchups. It ain't a defender all year I've seen that could lock T.J. Hockenson down. And in Galladay, he got most of his yards on that big deep ball on the pass interference or the offsides play, excuse me. But what they need to do offensively moving forward, and when they go on next week, I think next week they might play the Vikings. Let me pull it up. And they got abused today by the Atlanta Falcons, which I think we should have seen that coming. New coach, a little bit of freedom. They play, matter of fact, they play the Falcons next week. And the way they look today, might be scary going down to Atlanta. But, what I don't like about the offense is the fat. It's too much fat in this meat. I love a little bit of fat on some steak. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But the fat is Amendola, Agnew should not even give a freaking target. Amendola shouldn't get too many targets no more. Marvin Jones shouldn't get too many targets no more. Marvin Hall had 2 measly targets. What we need to do is cut the fat off the offense. The fat is Amendola, Jones, Agnew. Minimize their targets unless they just going through the progression. The primary targets need to be Galladay for every play, Hockenson, and maybe Swift coming out the backfield. That's it. Everything else should be secondary. Abuse your best weapons, and they won't do it. Adrian Peterson, he cute. Just lose him for 6 yards, for short yardage. He cute. Running the ball, it's a good story, but 15 carries taken away from DeAndre Swift for 40 yards when Peterson averaged 2.7 yards and Swift averaged 8.3. Keep going to him. Adrian Peterson shouldn't be taking carries away from that brother. But defensively, I was impressed because most of their offense played. Minshew, James Robinson, who got the most yards from scrimmage for a rookie, Keelan Cole, DJ Sharp, he was a little injured. The Shinnok dude, I can't pronounce his name. He was really good at Colorado. He played some running back there and a lot of receiver. Only person that probably didn't play was Tyler Eifert, and he always injured, so you can always count about him not playing. Chris Conley played. James O'Shaughnessy played. They had everybody play. The defense was the most impressive thing for me. They dominated today. Still didn't get the sacks that I thought they should have got. But they kept Gardner Minshew in the pocket, didn't let him break the pocket, and when he did, they made him throw an off-platform throw. And the defense was impressive today. I mean, some people mad at Tavai because he didn't play well today. I mean, some people saying he ain't an NFL caliber linebacker. That's a discussion for another day. But still, we still didn't get a lot of pass rush. But pretty much they played well. I think Okuda lost some focus when he let that in the zone. He let Keelan Cole catch that pass. But other than that, Deron Harmon got a pick. Armani Orakwe, I think, has turned into their best defender. He had a great play where he fourth down, where the game still the Jaguars could have still shook or something, and he made a great play on the ball. And you know what? You might have to put him right up there with Galladay as Bob Quinn's best pick overall. He might be the best pick right with Hockenson, and he went in the 5th round. I had a 2nd round grade on him. I was hoping the Lions would pick him, and I'm like, it usually never goes the way we see it and the way they see it. It doesn't go the way they always we see it. But to be honest, he a baller. You know what I'm saying? If you strip this defense down next year, and you don't care about who you keep and who you don't keep. The 2 guys I'm keeping. If you ask me, the 2 guys I want to keep on this defense, it's definitely Amani Orakwe, and it's definitely gonna be Tracy Walker. Those 2, I think those 2 are fantastic. Obviously you can't give up on Jeff Okuda, but see, If you can find a cornerback in the 5th round, you know what you're doing. No matter 5th or 1st round, usually not named Marcus Peters and Marshawn Lattimore, it takes 1 year for the cornerback to really show what he got. For really, the second year for a cornerback is really his real true rookie season. He needs it, especially OTAs and mini camps. But Araku is just an animal. He was 18th out of 100 and some or 60, 70 some cornerbacks in the league, and that's without a pass rush. So imagine if he had a respectable defense, that length, only started 1 year at Penn State, the ball skills, his ceiling is so high. You know what I'm saying? He got a high ceiling, and he is the best defensive player this year for them, followed by Tracy Walker. Jamie Collins Sr. has just been shaky, but overall, wasn't shit wrong with their offense other than D-Shark wasn't healthy. I think he could have changed the game a little bit. For them, but Miles Jack didn't play. He must have got put out the game or got injured, but came out the game fairly healthy. High Tie and Terrell Crosby came back in, and they pushed around that front seven and had some injuries offensively, but defensively, other than D-Shay Shark not being injured, not being 100%, defense did the thing today. But only critique I got is they still got to get pressure. Next week, Julio Jones is back, and he looking good today. 2 touchdowns, 100 and some yards. Calvin Ridley. So they better have their big boy pants on next week. But a lot of people was probably hoping. But let me give me a synopsis first. Wasn't impressed with the offense too much. I just never seen them under Stafford too many times just dominate the way they need to be dominated. And I'm tired of the spread the wealth around offense. Going into next week, look at what the Falcons do. We're going to abuse Ridley. We're going to abuse Julio. And that's kind of what you're supposed to do. The Lions need to say, look here, we got to abuse Hockenson. We got to abuse Galladay. And then we use Swift out the backfield. And if anything, Marvin Hall. It's time to get away from Marvin Jones Jr. and Galladay and Danny Amendola. I think they should release Amendola, trade him to the Bucs so he can be with Tom Brady. His time is over. It's time to stop with the bullshit with Jamal Agnew. Time to cut him and find you a receiver. I mean, a real receiver, a real kick returner / receiver, running back. It's just some guys they just need to move on from. And offensively, I can see a bunch of them. Marvin Jones, trade him. Amendola, trade him or release him. Let him go be with Tom Brady. Stop letting Agnew be a receiver. Put Hall, put Cephas in, and roll with Galladay and Swift. And cut Peterson Cutches a bit. Give him to Swift and make Kerryon be the bottom bitch of the running back room. But it's time to cut the fat off and just go with this nice steak. All right, but a lot of people was happy that it was some rumors that Jason Lockenfor of CBS said that Matt Patricia could be fired if they lose today, and obviously the team hasn't given up on Matt Patricia. They played with a lot of heart, a lot of passion today, and got their second win. They gave a game ball to Sheila for the first win this past Friday in Arizona, but I ain't gonna lie, a lot of me was hoping they lose so Matt Patricia can get fired, and they were saying that the front office had lost faith in him. And I said the ownership should lose faith in the front office because they brought him here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm pretty sure I thought the Lions should win this game regardless. Beat up Jaguar team. So if they did lose, he deserved to get fired, man. And they played hard for him today. There wasn't no Aaron Rodgers when the day he got Mike McCarthy fired. You know what I'm saying? When he got him fired, he quit. They was playing Arizona and Lambeau, and he quit. He did everything in his power to get him fired. So the Lions didn't let down Matt Patricia today on the road. They played hard. They played with some passion. Sorry for Mason barking. I don't know what he's barking at. They played with passion. They played with heart. They played with everything today. So, they didn't give up on Matt Patricia. Maybe they do like Matt Patricia, or maybe they just play for pride, knowing that this may be one of the few games they may win. But coming up, they got the Falcons next Sunday. They got the Colts, who, is entrenched with a war in the Bengals. The Bengals jumped on them early, and they came back and took the lead last time I checked. Then they got the Vikings. Then they got the Washington football team. Then they got the Panthers on the road. Then they got the Texans at home on Thanksgiving. So, To be honest, the Falcons game is going to be a tough game to play against the Falcons. It's like they're playing loose and they got Julio back. Then they on the road there. Then they at home versus the Colts, a good football team, especially defensively. Then they had the Vikings. Then the Washington football team come in. Then they had the Panthers who playing the Bears who was losing. Then Thanksgiving versus Texas. So not the cakewalk, but we'll see how it goes. So at what point do you think do we think that he may be up for fire again? They lose to the Falcons, lose to the Colts, lose to the Vikings. I think the Washington football team, they lose 4 in a row and they cap it off to the Washington football team. I think that's a way you can see them being fired. But they did what they had to do today. They was favored on the road. They won the game. Can't knock them. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or just want to chop it up. My Twitter is the fastest way. Twitter link, Instagram link, and Facebook link is in the description. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Cash App in the description as well. Best way to donate. Personally, share the videos. Just keep sharing the videos. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, check our Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this, and our Lions post-game reaction playlist as well for more videos like this. Appreciate the love, support. Don't forget, check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment right here on YouTube. That's Goodfellas Sports TV. One time for the one time. Good win for the Lions. We gone.